Conference will now be recorded.
Any doubts from previous topics? Today we are going to start object-oriented programming, which is very important. So please pay attention. If any doubts, let me know. So object-oriented ABAP. What is object-oriented ABAP? What is the difference between classical ABAP, which means normal ABAP, and object-oriented ABAP? So the main difference is we need more security and more reusability of the code what we have written. So that is not possible with the classical ABAP programming. So we can provide more security, we can provide reusability of the code, but compared to object-oriented concepts, that much security or that much flexibility is not there for ABAP programming language. To design SAP ERP application, ABAP programming language is sufficient. So in SAP ERP, you have SD, MM, FI, all these modules are there, and every module has a application. Say SD have sales orders, MM material related, finance, billing related. So different applications are there and the tables. So all these applications and the design for SAP ERP software product, which is happened with ABAP programming language. So if you know ABAP programming language, then well and good, you can work for SAP ERP software product. Now, what happened is, so Tata company, let's say, so they are doing a business. So, and to deal with the internal operations, they need SAP ERP software. So, as a ABAP consultant, if any issues or anything needs to be developed, that is possible. What happened going slowly? Tata Motors, they are dealing with the customers. So, actual business, what they do, they will do with the customers. So, Tata is using SAP, but their customers are not using SAP. So how customer can reach Tata company? So there is a medium should be there. With the help of medium only they can approach, right? So then they come up with a website. So how this website they can access, customers can access. So you need to design this website. So whatever the code previously with SAP ERP, this is inside the SAP server. So whatever you write, this is inside the SAP server. So the code is more secured because authorized persons only can log in, and whoever giving access, they can only access the sales order application or information what they need from the SAP ERP system. Only SAP authorized people can access. But now outside customer, he needs to create a sales order in SAP ERP system. So previously it is not there. If outside customer wanted to create a sale order, he will talk to the Tata Motors sales department. So their sales department have access to SAP ERP. So they will log in into system through GUI, and then they will access VA01 and they will create a sales order for the customer. But going further, it is like a difficult task for the customers because it is not flexible. Every time they have to approach the sales help desk. So it is like a customer support. So if you are having any problem, so when you are talking to customer support, how you will feel like it is like they'll you need to call them, and whatever they ask you, like provide your ID, any security question, or they'll ask you to enter this, enter that. So obviously it is a difficult task to deal with someone, right? So in that case, so Tata is decided, so they discussed with SAP, no, this is not the right way. So customer himself has to create the sale order. but without SAP interaction, because he cannot log into SAP system. Only our company people can only log in because we purchased. Then how customers can access SAP application is, so they come up with a concept called WebDyn Pro BSP pages. So they come up with BSP pages WebDyn Pro topic, WebDyn Pro, and then CRM UI and UI5. Now it is Fiori. So these are all different areas which is introduced by SAP. By using this, you can build a web application and you can connect that web application to SAP ERP system. So initially it's a BSP pages. So through using BSP pages, you can design website and you can connect with SAP system. And this website is accessed by outside customer through URL. So they will enter some URL like e-order support or e-order portal. There is a website for customers for Garrett. Like this is developed on UI5. So initially when request comes, they introduced BSP. So BSP through, they have designed websites, and websites through customers are able to access. And there are some challenges, security related issues, someone easily hacking the websites and placing the orders. So to more security purpose, they are introduced WebDyn Pro concept. And again, CRM UI, UI5, Fiori, like this, keep on they are migrating to a better versions. Like in previously we have seen script and then smart form. So it's a advanced version. The functionality purpose is same, either script or smart form only used to design the form layout, but there are more features are available in smart form compared to the script. Like that, BSP, WebDyn Pro, all these are technologies they have introduced. By using this, you can build a website. So latest one have more features, but the purpose is same. It is used to design the website. So how when it now the code is going to uh, online. So previously it is in SAP ERP server. Now it is in cloud, means online. So when it is online, uh, SAP has to think more about the security, because when the code is available online, so many hackers, they are trying to hack the system, and they'll introduce any malware into the system. So they'll break the system. So so here when the code is going to the website, there is a need of more security. And also when you are building an application, so there is a observance, like the code has to be reused more. Instead of creating multiple times, a single code needs to be used multiple times. So by looking at all these challenges, what they observed is Java programming language, which is providing all this flexibility, security. So then what they have decided, considers few of the Java concepts and implemented into ABAP programming language, and they named it as object oriented ABAP. So we are not totally writing Java code. So it's a ABAP related only, but we have used Java concepts, Java programming concepts into our ABAP programming language. So why we have used, because now the code is in online, everyone can access. So we need more security that is provided through Java. And recently they are also using Python. So Python also a programming language which also provide more security. So whatever the languages are there which are helpful for the design of application, so SAP people are using. So when they are using, they are saying that it's a object oriented ABAP or Python with ABAP. So the names they will add it. Moreover, now what we are talking is object oriented ABAP. So why we are going with object oriented? Why can't we ABAP? Is our SAP ERP software, it is helping inside organization, but in real time practice, that is also not sufficient for a company, so they also satisfy the external customers. So when it goes to the external customers, there are pain points when they do business with the customers. So to rectify their pain points, so we introduced websites. So websites, portals, how it is designed is with using the advanced concept. These concepts require object oriented edition. Why it is? Because now the code is in website, so you need more security and more flexibility. That is not possible with the web programming language. So overall, that is why we are going with object oriented concept rather than the ABAP programming language. So now we will see a simple code. What is a difference between object oriented and normal ABAP programming language? So in classical ABAP, if you wanted to create a data object, so I'm asking you to create a data object uh, to pass a integer value. So what you will do, you will use the data statement followed by your data object and type followed by data type. And then if you wanted to pass some value, you will assign value like this. And to display this value, you are going to use a write statement, write followed by n1. Now what will happen with this code? System is going to display n1 value into the output. So you'll have n1 value into the output. So now I am asking you, I need one more output with the same data object. It has to be displayed 6 also. That means I need two outputs, 4 and 6, with the same data object. Is it possible? If you wanted to display 6, then again you have to pass 6 value. But if you pass 6 value, what will happen? A 4 will be overwritten. Only you can see 6. So at a time 4 and 6 with the single object, it is possible. It is not possible in classical programming. At a moment, it will only consider one particular value because here the data object is created with a single memory. The memory allocation happened for your data object is only single. So either you can pass 4 or you can pass 6, but not 4 and 6. That is not possible because memory allocation is single. In that memory, only one value will sit. So this is one simple demonstration where you can understand what is not possible in classical ABAP, what is possible in object oriented. So now in object oriented, how this is possible? How we can use a single data object to display multiple outputs. So we'll see with the object oriented concept. So in object oriented, so first you have to create a class. So when you are working with object oriented, there are some steps. You have to follow those steps before writing any program. So what is that steps is create class definition, which means creation of the class. Class definition means create class. Both are same. Class definition are create class. And then object reference. So create object reference. To access class attributes. And third point, no, this is third point actually. So after creation of the class, you have to implement the class. Implement class. Create class and then implement the class. I'll tell you what is class. And then create object reference to access class attribute. And fourth one is assign memory to object. And finally, display um, access class attributes through object reference. And finally, display data objects. Data objects. So these are the 5 steps you have to follow when it is local. Local means, so first I will tell you what is class. So class is nothing but in object oriented concept, it's a template. So object oriented, always you have to think in a real time world, then only you can understand, otherwise it's always a confusion. So what is the real time scenarios, why we have to compare is to understand better way, it is always recommended to compare. Let's say animal. So animal is a class. So why animal is a class? Because if I ask you to show animal, that is not possible. Either you can show to me like a lion or an elephant. So those are animals. But lion, when you add name, then only the real existence will come to that animal. So animal is a general term. So it, when any particular uh, object, so here you can say class is a animal. So it has name, but not real existence. Okay, but if I ask you lion, it's an object. Object means it's a real time entity which is derived from the class. Lion, elephant. So these are all objects, different objects. So these objects are derived from the class, animal class. So class is a template where it has some properties and functionalities, but not a real-time entity. Whereas object is a referred from the class and it has real-time visibility. So always you have to refer class properties by using the object. So normally, what are the properties you will see in an animal? So animal has what legs and eyes. So these are all common properties. And uh, la- animal has a category. So category in the sense wild animal, farm animal, like that we do have a different categories. And there is a function also, speed. So cheetah will be more speed compared to any other elephants, any other animals, and different functionalities also. So functionality means, so these are, you can say properties, and these are functionalities. So functionality means you have to provide something as an input. Based on that, you can determine the speed. So these functionalities you can compare in class concepts. We say these are methods. So these methods in classical programming, exact replica of function modules. So in these functions means methods, we are going to write our logic. So say, so object is a cheetah, and when it is cheetah, so you can say speed is like 100 kilometers. So based on the property object, you are going to write your particular data. So that is, you are going to write it in a functionality. So class generally it's a template. Okay, it doesn't have any real-time existency. So inside the class, if you go and see, there are attributes, methods, different things are there. So those are all will be derived from a real-time entity. So that is what mean by the object and class. So when you are working with object-oriented app, so you have to create a class first. So what purpose? What is the template? You need to access it. So we will follow the same 5 or 6 steps and implement the same one, creating the data object in object-oriented program. So how class will be created is a data followed by, you need to provide the class name GCL underscore. So this is local variables LV. I am creating a local variables. So I am creating a class to store local variables. LV definition. So you have to use definition. So this is class. So class followed by class name. So this class name may be anything, and you have to provide the definition. So this is the syntax, and you have to end this with end class. So this is the syntax for class definition, first one. So class followed by your class name and definition followed by end class. So this means you have created a class, and class followed by class name, and here implementation, and followed by end class. So which means you have created a class name GCL IV, and you have implemented exist really that is existed. So class and class creation, class definition means class with the name it is created, and then it is implemented, activated. So these two are to create the class first. The first and two are for creation of the class. The class creation will be happen with the definition and implementation. So you need to provide class name in between it, and then you have to create an your class program through. After that, you have to create object reference. So here once class is created, and inside you have to provide the class objects. So I'll extend this to little below. So here I'm not, we need to create the class attributes. So data n1 type I. So this is my declaration. So I have created one data object n1 in a class ZCL underscore LV. One data object was created, but when you are creating a data object inside the class, you have to specify a visibility section. So every class attribute has a visibility section. So visibility section is, we have public section, private section, protected section. So you need to must and should specify the visibility for any attribute you create, any object you create inside the class. So with this, what we have done, we created a class called ZCL underscore LV, and inside this class, we have a data object N1 was created. Now class is having a data object called N1, and the visibility is public. Public means the class can access this attribute, as well as outside program also can access this attribute. Outside program means, so through SE38 external source through also you can access this particular data object. Now the data object is created inside a class, and class implementation same. You don't need to do anything here. So once class was created with the data object, now in my program, I am going to access this class attribute to display two different outputs. So to access the class attribute, you need an object reference. So how object reference will be given is with the data statement. Data, you have to provide a object. So I am providing an object one. So you need to write type ref2. So type ref2 is your command. So data followed by your data object, and for type ref2 followed by your class name. So whatever the class you created, you have to refer this class. Now what will happen is uh, externally you are referring. Now this is the real time object, so it's a template. So far it's a template. You can compare like a animal related. So animal, there is a functionality called number of legs maybe. Okay, so it's a animal template, and number of legs is the data object. But what is the number of legs? To determine a leg, you need an animal. So based on the animal, you can say how many parts they have, like lion or monkey. So like this, you can determine it. So you need a real-time object. So here, object one is the real-time object. So through the real-time object only, you can access class properties. So now you created a real-time object with the data statement. After creation, it is now referring the class to access the attributes, but really memory is not allocated. So memory allocation purpose, you have to use create object statement. So create object followed by your object, whatever the object you created, right? Referred, you need to create it. So when you create, then memory gets allocated for this object. Until that, there is no memory allocated, which means after create only actual line is there. Okay, so before that it is in discussions only. So after creation, now you have the line animal. So now to this line you have to say how many parts are there for the line. So to say that, you need to access the class data object. So how we can access the class data object is, we need to use a single arrow. So object referred by what, n1. So n1 is the property of a class. Now you can say this is four legs. So object is lion. Now for the lion, what you are saying, it has four legs. So to specify how many parts are there, you are using a property from the class. Now if you write lion has comma followed by the same comma as legs, then what you will get output? Your output will say lion has four legs. So this is what your output. Now I wanted to use the same data object. So n1 is here, this one object where it has having the numbers. It is taking the numbers, right? So I wanted to say monkey has two legs. So I wanted to get monkey has two legs. So in that case, first what I have to do, I need to create a object with monkey. So create object two. Object two is referring monkey, and type ref to the same class, because in the class you have the number of legs related data object. Then you need to create object. Create object followed by your data object. Now you are creating monkey. Now monkey is really exist. So you are saying that monkey has two legs. And when you write in the write statement like this, monkey has object two. This is object two as legs. Then what we will get as the output? Monkey has two legs. So if you observe in this program, you created a single data object. N1 is a single data object of type integer. This single data object is giving two different outputs. You are referring only N1, but what is making difference here? You are referring N1 through a object. So this object creation and reference is nothing but the object oriented programming. So object oriented programming, you need objects. So when you use objects, you can use the single source of creation in multiple times, and more flexibility is there, and also more security also provided by using the object oriented concepts. So the data object is only one, but this data object created two different memories because of object reference. So you are using a object. This object, when it is referred, there is a separate memory is allocated for N1. And when it is referring, there is a separate memory is allocated. So two different memories are allocated because of object. So in object oriented programming, the thing is, to access, you need a object reference. Without object reference, you can access, that is also possible, that we will see, but mainly thing is we need objects to access the class properties. Hope it is clear what is the main difference of normal classical programming compared to the object oriented programming. So you need to always remember this flow. First, you need to create a class, implement the class, and then you need to create the objects. And after creation, you need to assign memory. Memory will be assigned with create object statement. And inside the class, attributes can be accessed through the object what you have created with single arrow. So single arrow, it is indicating, it is referring a class property. So we will go and see in SE38 the differences. So I have created already one program, OABAP basics. So you can go here. So first execute the normal one, activate. So this is a classical ABAP code. So where you are displaying value 5 in a data object N1. So if I need same data object to be used and pass another value, is it not possible? Is it possible? No. So I can't display 5 and 6 at a time because N1 is having only single memory. So it will be replaced with 6. Only one value I can see at a time. It is not possible to provide 5 and 6 in classical programming. So now close this one. And now come to here. So data objects creation in a class using object oriented program. So you have created N1 type I here by using classical approach. Now by using object oriented approach, how we can create a data object. So uncomment this. So you can see here I am creating a class. So this is class definition. So class will be created with these two steps, class definition and class implementation. So if you go to here, class definition, class followed by your local class name, and you have to provide your definition. Definition, after that you have to end with end class. Class, end class, and as well as class implementation followed by end class. Now you are going to create a data object N1 type I. So any attribute inside the class has a visibility section. That visibility section is called public, protected, private sections are there. So you are creating a public section means it is accessible with inside the class, outside the class. So we will see elaborately with this public, protected, and private section. So now you remember there is a attribute which is created inside the class. A visibility is public, which means this class can access this particular attribute, as well as outside of the class also can access the attribute. Now in this example, we are accessing this attribute inside this class only. And then methods. So methods, here you can see there are two methods we have created. One is set value, another one is display value. So method is nothing but a function module. So every class to display some value, it requires a method. So method inside we are going to add our logic. And this method also belongs to a public section. So it is like visible for everyone. You can use inside and outside also. And now you coming to the implementation. In the implementation part, the methods what you have created here, set value, display value, it has to be implemented by method followed by the method name, end method, and method followed by the display value and end method. So this is declaration statement. Methods is a declaration statement, and in the implementation you have to use method followed by end method. So in the set value, what I am doing, I am passing a value to n1 here. So n1 is identified inside this implementation because it's a public. That's where system is accepted and it was taken value. And then display value. In the display value, what we are doing, we are using write statement to display the value which is passed in the set value method. But if you save, check, activate, and execute, you will not get any result because this is a local class using in a external program. So when you are using through external, you have to call this properties externally, then only it will work. So externally, how we can call this class properties? For that, you have to create the object, and then you need to assign memory. After that, you have to refer the object, refer the class attributes through object reference. So for now, you can see this is the way we can create a class, and a data object can be created inside the class. Later we will see how we can call this from externally. So now in this particular case, we have created a class with two different methods, and one method it will set the value to the attribute inside the class, and another method it will display the value from that attribute. So this is a local class. So you have created a class in program. This class you can create global also. The same class, program level class, you can make it as a global. So global means whatever the classes you can access through SC24 transaction, these are called local classes, global classes. So see class constructor. So this is a no, this is not a class. So this is a class. So you can see this is a class where it have attributes, methods, some functionalities are there. So this is global class. And whatever you see here, ZCL underscore SAN is a local class. So this class is used inside the program only. So there is a provision provided for classes, like if you create a class in program locally, this class can be converted into global. So how we can convert this class which you created in program that is local, how can we create this into global is you need to copy your program and go to SC24 transaction to make this class into global. And then here in the object type, click on import and select local classes in program and enter your program name. So now I am going to make this class from local to global. After that, you need to click on this import. So there is a button below. You need to select this import. So when you select, it is automatically considered the class from the program. So this is the class inside the program, which is a local class, which is dependent on this program. And system now it is trying to create for your local class a global class. So you need to simply add Z. So Z is indicating a custom, and then copy the global class name and then click on continue. What happened? Click on import. So save, check and import. So again I will show you. Go here, import local classes, enter your program and then click on import. System will propose you. After proposing, add Z to the proposed value and then you have to do continue and check and then import. After click on import, then what will happen? Import completed successfully. You can see a message. And then whatever the class you have identified, make into a local to global, right? Enter that and click on display. What happened? Is it not active? This is active only. Okay, let me get into display mode. Maybe it was not creating because of we are in change mode. It is not exist. Okay, let me object type import local, enter your program and import. So this is your local and this is your global. Enter G for this, copy your program and select this one, this line, select this line and click on import. And then it is asking to store under a package. So if you want, you can store under a package or local object. So now import completed successfully. Let's see this class, how it is created. So you can see this is the class which is created automatically by system by taking the local class. So if you observe in the local class, you have two methods, set value, display value. And you can see these methods are there in the set value and display value. And also this method has a visibility and levels. So we will discuss elaborately. So now you can see this level is instance and visibility is public. So whenever you create under a public, automatically it will be created, taken as a level as instance and visibility as public. And if you go to the set value method, you are passing n1 equal to 4. So go to inside of this. So you can see in the set value, you are passing value to n1. And in the display, you are displaying value from n1. And where is this n1 type I, data n1 type I, where it is? So it is in attributes. So if you go to attributes, this is the n1 and the type is integer and you can see visibility is public and automatically instance it was taken. So this is the replica for our local class. So this is our local class, whatever you have in the local class, which is converted into global class. So this is the data object n1 and these are our methods set and display. So now advantage of class is you can execute and check these classes individually. So now the class just now created and status is inactive. So you need to go in change mode and activate the class first. So we have activated now. This is a global class. So I wanted to test this class to make the value and then display the value. So you can execute. When you execute, it is saying this is the attribute and this will be the set value method and this will be the get value display value method. So now first for n1 initially it is 0 because we just declared. When you are declared, there is no value will be passed. So when you are passing value in the method set value, so execute this set value. So once you executed, you can see a value 4 was assigned to data object n1. Now you wanted to display value, click on display value method. Now you can see the value which is inside the data object N1, which is displayed here. So if you wanted to access this class from the program, then you have to do the steps. Create three steps are there, right? Okay, these steps you have to follow. So you don't need to do this above steps, because above steps are already completed. A global class was created. If global class is not there, then you have to do the first and two steps in your program. You need to create the class definition and implement the class definition. And then if you wanted to access the class properties, you have to create a object reference. So we will see going further how that could be accessed. So is it clear so far what we have discussed? So class is a just a template. To access the class properties, you need a object. Object is a real-time entity. By using object reference only, we will access the class attribute. And attributes have different levels and visibility section. Regarding the levels, instance, static and constant, and about the visibility, public, protected and private, we will see in the coming classes, elaborated way. So any doubts so far?
If no questions, we can wind up for the day.